good morning, you sexy little TikToky bastards. It's time for another alternative paper review. Failure to halt migration is a slap in the face for the public. So says the Daily Express, channeling Suella Braverman like some sort of exorcism, speaking in tongues dynamic. And of course, they're not alone, with the Daily Mail joining in the sort of dissonant harmony you might expect from the closing bars of a Fergie solo track. Across the right-wing rags, they're all obsessed with these immigration figures. The Daily Telegraph chime in with cabinet pressure on Sunak to slash migration. Now, first off, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If this is not about xenophobia, if this is just about pressure on public services, you just want to bring down the net migration figure, just make it easier for people like me to fuck off. But secondly, why is there this pressure? Why are the Mail, Express and Telegraph banging on about migration? Certainly not because they're telling the public what the public actually are concerned about. In 2016, there was a lot of hysteria around immigration, around the EU. But these days, people are significantly more concerned, as you might expect, with the economy and the cost of housing. So why are they banging on about immigration figures when that's actually not what people are going to buy a paper to read about? Well, it's because newspapers don't really care how many copies they sell. The Daily Telegraph, for example, sold 1.5 million copies every day in 1980, but by 2019 that had dwindled to 300,000 copies until finally they withdrew from providing those circulation figures completely. 100,000 fewer than that read the Daily Express. Basically, nobody reads these things anymore, do they? 200,000 people buying a copy of the Express every day out of a population of 67 million. That is like 0.0002% of the population, which interestingly enough is the same percentage of people who were starved of oxygen as babies. So they don't sell copies over the counter in Tesco, and print advertising revenue has just fallen off of a cliff. Like the Sun lost £60 million in 2022, and that's doubled to £127 million this year. None of these rags make money, but they are all bought and propped up by millionaires and billionaires, each of whom have a political and financial agenda to keep the Conservatives in power, so they can keep getting regulations slashed and receiving these corporate tax breaks. And like, it's a lost leader. Like, they pay 70 million for a newspaper, it campaigns for certain changes or to distract you so the Tories can carry on doing the changes that they want, and ultimately they make back over here another 100 million or 500 million in profits. So when they bang on about migrants like this, even though it's not what anybody's really talking about right now, then that is what is happening.